Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tesla Economist. It's starting to feel like the good old days of Tesla again, when Tesla destroys delivery and production numbers and we get a reminder of just how truly amazing this company is at times and the surprises it can throw at us. All of us, even the best of forecasters this quarter. That's right, 466,000 deliveries. That is seriously impressive. 1.86 million at an annual run rate. 43,000 more than Q1 from 423,000, an increase of 10%. That's a substantial jump. However, what was also very impressive, arguably more impressive, was the production rate of 480,000 units. That is 1.92 million annualized. Now, Elon said if there are no issues this year, Tesla could hit 2 million for the year. So far, nothing really has gone wrong, and we're still on a chance of hitting 2 million. Tesla will need to really ramp up for the rest of the year though, and likely be close to a run rate of 2.2 million by the end of the year to hit that rate. This was a 9% increase in production quarter over quarter from 440,000 in Q1. If we annualized that, then it comes to 40%. A 40% annual increase. We're not far off our old favourite of 50%. That is even in the ballpark. Whether this ramp can be continued is another story, but kind of irrelevant, as 50% growth is not our guidance for this year. The guidance given in the Q4 earnings was 1.8 million, which at the time was pretty much the current run rate, so a very low bar set for the year. Yet now we're hitting some big numbers. We were only 20,000 short of 500,000 for the quarter. That's going to start to look really good, and a good chance now that we beat 500,000 in Q3. I think 500,000 will be a big psychological number, as it is 2 million annually. Tesla would be at a multi-million annual run rate, and start to really look like one of the big boys, fast approaching the likes of BMW. And with Tesla's continual compounding growth, it won't take too much longer until they're up to similar numbers as Ford. Except Tesla, of course, sell with a much larger profit, and an even more profitable software as a service to come later. So how did Tesla achieve such a jump in production this quarter? We know the 4680 sales aren't doing that much, as we just got told that they made their 10 millionth at Texas. Even if all of those went into Q2, then that would only be about 14,000 additional units, yet we have 39,000 extra. It looks like they may be increasing some more 2170 sales, but it couldn't be that many. It's very difficult to ramp up those lines. So I think the majority of the increase is coming from China, and it's not so much of a ramp, but more that there wasn't so much downtime as experienced in the other quarters. Since the major upgrades in China we saw around the end of last year, they hadn't hit full capacity yet. So I'm going to guess that the majority of this production increase has actually come from China having a good quarter. I think 2 million is still a bit of a stretch for the year. I can't quite see how they get enough sales for the rest of the year to reach that target. Has to be sales for Berlin and Texas, as they still have lots of capacity, whereas Fremont and Shanghai are close to full capacity, which means it will mainly come down to a 4680 ramp, which is still ramping, and perhaps we get some guidance on those sales. And potentially Berlin using BYD cells, but BYD don't make a massive amount of sales, nothing close to CATL, and BYD also want those sales for their own cars too. My guess is that we see about 500,000 in Q3 and 520,000 in Q4. That's for production only, which would come to 1.94 million for the year. Q3 and Q4 are generally stronger quarters for the auto industry, which doesn't necessarily mean production will be any higher, but demand should be higher, particularly in Q4, the biggest quarter. Now, we have had quite a few quarters where production has been much higher than deliveries. That is starting to add up, probably to around 50,000 or so extra vehicles that have not been sold. And no, they're not all stuck in transit. But possibly demand will be much higher in the following quarters, that some of this excess can be eaten up. I'm not sure what Tesla's plans are for them. Maybe when the new Model 3 and Y are out and the prices of those vehicles increase, then the older versions will slowly be sold at a lower cost option. We don't know Tesla's entire pricing strategy. Anyway, it looks like Tesla's demand is still there, even during these times of high rates and uncertain economic futures. People are still buying cars and buying Teslas. And yes, let's be honest, Tesla were offering some discounts for the vehicles in inventory this quarter, But also, we did get the full Model 3 tax credit return as well. And the Model 3 demand is still holding, despite a new version coming out very soon. Surely this quarter we finally get to see the Model 3 Highland for sale, maybe even this month. We're hearing a lot of great details about this car. I'm pretty sure it will cost more than the current Model 3 now, perhaps $45,000. However, it will be offering around 300 miles of range, and I'm sure it will sell at that price, at least for a while. So Tesla can get rid of the inventory for the older version in the meantime. So Model 3 demand should remain strong for some time. Now, how is the stock price going to react to this news? This is a massive beat, with estimates of around 440 to 450,000 for deliveries, and we hit 466, beaten by around 5%. I think the Tesla stock price and investors are still looking for any reason to take the stock to $300. These numbers are certainly going to help, and it could offer a good stepping stone. So possibly we might see it hit $280, although it may take the whole week to get there. From there, it's just a little jump until we see 300. And after we break that seal on 300, then who knows? We have earnings at the end of the month, which may be what takes us to the 300 mark. Most eyes are going to be looking at margins now. We had 19% in Q1, so I think if we hit 20%, that will be looked at as favourably. It might be possible, as remember, all the additional units Tesla produce benefit from further economies of scale. So what will also be important to see is the operating margin that Tesla are at now, and the OPEX isn't much higher than last quarter, even despite the additional production. I'm also interested in watching how energy might ramp up this quarter too. A lot of hope this year for that side of the business. However, my opinion is that it won't have increased by much. My theory is that it is going to increase dramatically when Tesla switch over to the Model 3 Highland and start using CATL's new M3P cells with that vehicle instead of the old LFP cells in their vehicles. And these LFP cells will then be sent to the Megapack factory and will ramp that factory fast. Then the earnings call should be interesting. I think most investors are looking to hear for a Cybertruck update, as we are nearing the potential deliveries date target, which was supposedly this quarter, and many are suggesting this September. If they give guidance and reassurance that is still looking likely, then that will be the main thing investors want to hear. The other items I'm most interested in is an update on Mexico, perhaps some idea of when they may break ground there, and some partnership with CATL there with a new factory to supply the gig in Mexico. It could be a 100 gigawatt hour a year facility, which would be enough cells for close to 2 million Gen 3 cars a year. And yes, a Gen 3 update would also be great, perhaps saying they will reveal the car sometime later this year. Anyway, all in all, a very good result for Tesla this quarter. Hi there, I'm using Verbalate AI video translation and lip sync software. It's pretty amazing. Watch this. I can translate my videos into other languages. For example, I am now speaking Hindi.
नमस्ते, मैं पहली बार हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं, लेकिन वर्बलेट इसे इतना आसान बना देता है.
Or how about Spanish?
Hola, vaya, increíble.
También puedo hablar español. Sign up at verbalate.ai today to gain early access to trial the product for creators and strategic partners, and gain the ability to translate and lip sync videos in all major languages. You can view the info in the description below.